Okay, Jody Jackson's Gems brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers. We're going to go now to what's coming up. Josh Allen's a handful. Matthew Stafford on Sunday night had Detroit reeling. Even though the Rams ended up losing, he was on fire. And so I look at what the Rams are bringing in and saying, uh-oh, this may not go well either.
Well, Matthew Stafford at 36 years old is still an unbelievable quarterback. He had 317 yards the other day. Cooper Kupp was 14 catches for 110. So that's a dynamic duo. Puka Nacua left the game with a knee injury. We'll see where that lands. Same knee that he actually injured during training camp. And so we're not sure what will happen there. But Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp is a massive problem the Cardinals are going to have to address. And the thing is, though, with Kyren Williams to me is a great player. And last year, and I don't want to toot my own horn here, but last year going into, I was doing Cardinals pre and post radio, and I'm getting ready to go on and do the pregame. And I thought, let's think about Kyren Williams, though, here and running the ball. And they came out, and I think it was in the second half, and they came out and they ran the ball on the 9 out of 10 plays. And, so the Rams will do that. And they may go to it sooner than they did in that game last year. That was the game that I think the Rams ended up winning 26-9. But they do have a powerful attack, the Rams. And so Stafford, completely different guy, right? He's going to attack you through the air, and it's going to be a real challenge this week.
But there is no more Aaron Donald. No more Aaron
Donald. That's a great thing, isn't it? Let's just be honest.
He's been a wrecking ball to the Cardinals through the years.
Kyler Murray has had nightmares, I'm sure. Whether he would want to admit it or not, I don't know. But a lot of quarterbacks have had nightmares about Aaron Donald. This is the guy that, he's not just there plugging up the middle. He was wreaking havoc. Those that played against him, coached against him, always talked about him as maybe the best of all time at that position because he's such a unique blend of being so big and strong, but being an athlete as well. And he's gone now. And, and I really like Jared Verse, and I really like some of their pieces on, Verse is a rookie out of Florida State, and he'll be off the edge. And they have some pieces there, of course, but Aaron Donald, there's no way you can replace him.
What do you think is realistic or what needs to happen these next 3 weeks? It's 3 home games in a row, okay? And I'm not a big fan of the way that the schedule is laid out. I don't like to have that much up front. I'd rather see 3 home games in December, but it's the way the schedule's laid out. Does it mean anything to you these next 3 weeks that they've got to go 2-1? 1-2 is unacceptable. Do you have a number, Jody?
I don't want to really attach a number, but you'd like to see them get, first of all, being at home should be just a lot more comfortable. The conditions, everyone's comfortable in that stadium because it's a dome and the players all love it across the league. But if you're Kyler Murray, and if you're especially, let's just stick with the offense for right now. You want to enliven the fan base with what you have here. Everyone's been excited to see Marvin Harrison Jr. and this offense come out. So I think it makes sense I think everyone in the world says 3 targets for Marvin Harrison Jr. is not enough. No. So if this is coming out party now at home, maybe they didn't want to put a lot of pressure on him. I know this all sounds silly. We've talked for 3 months about how the guy is incredibly mature, and dad being a Hall of Famer, he's been made for this since the day he was born. So why would we be saying, oh, maybe they didn't want to attach too much pressure to him in game 1? I don't know, but he did drop a ball, so he is human, and maybe he was a little nervous. The guy's allowed to be nervous, but I think now get comfortable, get home. James Conner, who was a factor early in the game, really wasn't as much later. Get all the weapons going. Start to attack downfield when you have the opportunities. And I think if that happens, these are winnable games. You can compete with the Buffalo Bills. The Rams are tough. You get Washington, no rookies really looked great in week 1, and Jaden Daniels was among that group. He shows a lot of promise, but there's a lot that can happen in the next 3 weeks.
Just my 2 cents. Feed Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball early and often. Get him going in the first quarter there. Feel much better.
Well, I could say to you what's the worst that can happen, and we all know that there could be picks, right?
Sure.
But, at some point you're going to have to trust Marvin Harrison, and you're going to have to, and they'll scheme to get, they'll take chances to And when he's open, you have to be able to hit him. And Kyler, look, it happens. Wide open receivers run free and you don't see them. We saw Larry do. I mean, anytime you see the star wide receiver waving the hand, we saw that through the years, whether it was Kurt Warner, Carson Palmer, and Lord knows we saw it during a stretch of some quarterbacks that were not named Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer. But it can't happen. It can't be a frequent occurrence.
You don't show well at home. You don't get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball by halftime. I think this fan base is kind of like, I think they're on edge about Kyler, Jody. I think this is I've said this repeatedly. This is a year that Kyler's got to show something, man.
It's year 6 for Kyler Murray, and he has weapons now. And so it's a matter of doing it. And you're right. I think if he doesn't take a big step forward, there's going to be a lot of question marks. But look, it is, as you opened our conversation with the comment of it's week 1, let's not overreact. I think I agree with that. You know what I mean? You shocked me with that, Brad, because, I thought maybe you'd be here panicking on. No, I'm kidding.
She says that they're not perfect all the time, but she is. That is Jody Jackson, brought to you by E.D. Marshall Jewelers. Jody's Gems every week. Good seeing you. Have a great week.
Thanks, Brad. You too.